Hello, this is What You're All About with another watch review. This time we're looking at the Nite MX10, which is one of their original and most popular watches. As you can see, it's a very military-inspired watch, which is one of the key aspects of Nite watches, actually, because they have some NATO-approved watches, which have been approved for British military use, and I believe the MX10 is one of them. So all of their watches are very military based and tool like, and just rather than looking pretty, they're all about getting the job done and being a hard working and rugged watch. So we'll look into the MX10 to see if it's a good value for money watch. This version costs £300. You can get the version with the rubber strap for £250. And also you can get various other options which cost the same, but you can get one with a different colour dial. Also you can get one which isn't stainless steel but rather PVD coated, so the case and the strap are all blackened. So obviously you can see this version I've got here is the black dial with the stainless steel case and strap. So we'll discuss this and see how good it is. So firstly, it's worth noting that everything you can see is brushed stainless steel. The only bit that's polished is the case back, which we'll look at a little bit later on. But on top of the case is a sapphire crystal, and that has a triple layer of anti-reflective coating on the underside. So it does do a pretty good job with removing any not so much full reflections, but any details in the reflections. It does a pretty good job of removing. Obviously, because it's sapphire crystal, it's highly scratch resistant and very sturdy as well, so you're unlikely to damage it. Let's just take the watch off and have a bit of a closer look at the case itself. So everything with the case is excellently machined. It's all very soft to touch, no sharp edges anywhere, and the brushed finishing is all very uniform and spot on as well. The crown is a push-pull crown, so it's not a screw-in crown. So you just push it and pull it out. The crown has a nice deep etching of the Nite logo as well, which is always nice to see, and the grip is excellent as well. You can see it's very uniform and it provides excellent grip to be able to use it. These crown guards are quite rounded. I suppose it matches the design of the whole watch, but also does a good job of protecting the crown as well, because it more or less covers the majority of it, which is good to see. So the size of the case is 39mm in diameter. It's 10.75mm tall, and it has a lug to lug of 52mm. Now the lugs are quite an unusual shape, as you can see. They have this big semicircle cut out of it, which means that you can't really retrofit any existing straps. So you either have to go for the stainless steel strap or the rubber strap from Nite, and either switch between the two or stick with your choice. This is good and bad, because it's good in the fact that it looks a little bit different and it fits together really well, but it's bad in a way that you have to use their straps. Not that that's a problem, because the bracelet is brilliant. It's really, really good. But obviously, if you did fancy a change, you only have those two choices. So the lugs are quite curved, and because of the relatively small size of the watch, it fits really well on the wrist. I've got a 7.5-inch wrist, so it fits me really well, hugs the wrist really, really well. And also because of these quite angled, sweeping corners of the bracelet and the lug, it also is very comfortable to wear. As you can see, if I was to place it down, it stays upright because of the way the bracelet has been made with all the links. So it almost holds itself up on your wrist. So it feels really light on the wrist, even though the weight of the watch is 158 grams. So it is heavy. It's a heavy duty watch. You know, considering it's got a pretty lightweight quartz movement in there, that is a heavy weight for a watch this size, only 39mm diameter. So it really goes to show the quality of the manufacturing, how much steel is in the watch. You know, the case and the bracelet is all very well made. So carrying on with the case, if we have a look at the case back. So this is the only section of the watch which is polished, very highly polished, as you will see. Just focus, get it in focus. So you'll see that we have a NATO stock number at the top here. As I mentioned earlier, some of the Nite watches are NATO approved. We have a big Nite logo in the center with some details on the tritium tubes. And then this outer area, we have 4 different sections split up with the logo. So there's quite a lot of detail in there, but I like the way they've done it to keep it pretty nice and simple, not too boring or anything like that. So they've done a good job on the screw and case back. Okay, so moving on to the dial then. As I'm sure you're aware, Nite are well renowned for being specialists in having tritium tubes on their watches. Now, tritium is a form of light source, so that these little tubes here are full of tritium gas, and then on the underside of the tube is a layer of phosphorus. So when the two react together, it emits light. These aren't chargeable. They're completely self-powered. So you can't leave it in the sunlight to charge them or anything like that. There's no need. They basically keep on going for 25 years, very slowly diminishing in brightness. So you can't really see the thing to realise with tritium tubes, unless you have a really powerful one. These are just 25 millicuries. You can see at the bottom there it says T25, which refers to the amount of tritium in each tube. Unless you go for a really big heavy duty ones, you can't really see them glow in the daylight. You can only really see them when it's mid to dark level of lightness, and then your eyes need to be quite adjusted. But once the situation is correct, then they really do light up a lot. In my watch box, I have 15 watches, all of the lume, and all the other watches will be charged, but these will, in the dark, these will certainly stand out as being the brightest. So we have 15 tubes on the dial, one for each hour marker, and then one on each hand. All of them are green apart from 12, which is obviously good to have that different. Green tritium tubes are renowned for being the brightest and easiest to see, so that's good. And all of these are the same length, and the hour and minute hand are long enough to almost take up the whole hand, which is quite good. So although the dial isn't the most beautiful dial, it certainly does serve a function, as is the usual case with Nite watches. It's very simple, but also extremely visible. It could be easy for everything to get clogged up with the outer row of numbers 1 to 12, and then the inner row of the hours 13 to 24. But they've done a good job in keeping it really crisp and simple. Nite logo in the top, and then the model number and water resistance in the bottom, and then at the bottom just T25 and Swiss movement. And then so many people may have thought that the date window looks a bit wrong, because some people prefer to have a date window colour which matches the dial. So in this instance, black date window with white text. But I think if that was the case, it would be quite hard to see the date at a glance. So because it's you know, this way around, you can easily see it and easily recognize where the date window is and register the date. So obviously the key thought of the MX10 is that it's, you know, a utility watch. You want it just to do exactly what you want it to do, easiest way possible. So in this regard, it definitely does that. I really like the rehaut as well. The way it's so angled, it gives a great sense of depth to the watch, especially being that it rises all the way up to the crystal, and then the minute mark, the minute track going around being the same length as the tubes. I think it looks really great, and it certainly does its purpose well. And I like the way that the hour markers are on the rehaut as well, rather than on the dial, because that keeps the dial nice and simple. The way that it's just matte black with the white hands as well means it's got excellent legibility. And I really like the dash of colour with the blue second hand. I think it looks great, and it matches the tiny bit of blue on the logo as well. So the bracelet is all brushed stainless steel, and it's almost, you know, seamless the way it looks, with barely any gaps in between. And this is because the linking is all done underneath, and not above. So you can see there's a tiny bit there which goes underneath each link, which joins it all together. But it is very, very comfortable and really well made. It's really quite impressive when you wear it. All the links are really thick, perfectly machined, very comfortable and very soft on the inside. You never get any hairs pinched or anything like that. The pins are standard pins, so you will need a pin remover to resize it, but that's not necessarily an issue at all. So yeah, really impressed with the bracelet. All the Nite watches that I've seen so far, I've really liked the quality of the bracelets. I think they're one of the best aspects of the watch. And then the buckle, the deployment buckle, again is very well made. Gives you lots of nice sounding clunks and clicks when you put it together. It gives you the feeling that it's very secure. So it's a double locking clasp, so you have the top flap, and then you press the two buttons together to release the nipple, so you can lift up the clasp. And we have the Nite logo, nice and deeply etched at the top there. Again, all brushed, and everything just feels very secure and very well made. So they've done a really good job with the bracelet. I really like it. Okay, so let's get the macro lens out now, and we'll have a look at it in closer detail. Okay, so just starting with the case then, and the finishing and the machining. So here's just the brushed finish on the side of the case. And then we look at the very thin bezel, which allows the dial to do all the talking. If we have a look at this side, we'll be able to see the crown with the logo nice and deeply etched, and then the grip there as well. You can see it's all very well made, and the nice rounded crown guard as well. If I just pull the crown out, you can see the inside. There we go. So the lugs, I forgot to mention, are through lugs, so it's easy to change the strap if you do decide to go for both the bracelet and the rubber strap. You just poke your tool in there, and then it will release the pin inside. So that's nice and easy. Means you won't damage the lugs or anything, or scratch it. And then if we look at the bracelet, the where it joins is all very accurately machined as well. It goes together perfectly. if we just flip it over, we can see the case back before we go on to the bracelet. So everything is engraved very nice and deep. Gives you the feeling that it's all very well made, which is good. The polished finish is very highly polished as well. It's very good quality. There's some information about the tritium loom, which is cool. So there we go. So if we move on to the back of the bracelet, that's the bottom of the end lug, the end link, sorry. And here's the underside of the links. See the brushed finish is all very uniform. If we look at the side as well, nice and thick, excellently made. There we go. There's a nice little detail here where we have the two very small channels either side of the bracelet, which is nice to break up the bracelet a little bit instead of just having one massive amount of steel. It breaks it up a little bit. So then just finally, if we just have a quick look at the dial, just change the time. There we go. So all the printing is very accurate. We'll just change the date. There we go. So there's the date window, just cut straight out of the dial. See the printing. Look at the minute track again, all the printing is very accurate. And we can see the tubes there, all perfectly applied as well. So and then we'll just look at the hands. So the hands are all very well made and finished as well, which is good to see, obviously. And the logo. Okay. So it is a quartz watch. The movement is a Rondo 505, which is just basically a standard quartz movement with date complication. It is Swiss made, so that's good. It gives you about 4 years battery life and accuracy of between -10 and +20 seconds a month. So, you know, it's a fairly standard, well-made Swiss quartz movement which won't let you down. So for £300, I think it's an excellently made watch. Obviously, it's not particularly designed for beauty. It's a very simple, rugged watch. So if this is the kind of thing that you're after, then I would highly recommend it, because the way it's made is just that. It's very rugged, excellently well, very well put together as well. So yes, I would certainly recommend it for £300, especially being that it's a decent UK-based brand. It's obviously good to support them. So this was the Nite MX10, and that's what it's all about.